Hey guys, Deva here, and today I'm gonna bring you a second impact SAD build other than the final boss one. The reason for that is it hits much higher Phial damage but less melee damage, so it's a great side grade, or if you love caveman playstyle seeing big impact Phial numbers while not worrying about hitting the monster's weak spots, this will be perfect for you. The build hits up to 300 damage per Phial if all the skills active and depending on the monster. So let's get straight into it. And of course we're talking here about the Diablos Charge Blade, the highest row charge blade in the game with 370 row and no element. 370 row is almost 6% more damage over the 350 row. However, it has only white sharpness, which is 7% less damage on melee hits over purple. Also it has 5% extra negative affinity, making it at this point weaker than the final boss charge blade on optimal gameplay. However, it still hits higher Phial damage, and that's what we're looking here for today, getting a build with the highest impact Phial damage possible, but therefore your melee damage will be slightly less. And since it's a non-elemental charge blade, maybe after title update 1 we get finally the other missing Rampage decos like non-elemental boosts, which will make it even stronger and probably surpass the final boss charge blade. Since it has very small amount of blue and white sharpness, we can go with the skill Bludgeoner, which was a meta skill for base rise. This boosts your raw damage by 10% when your sharpness is green or lower. This way we further buff the Phial damage and cost of raw melee damage. Green to white is about 25% melee damage, which is quite a lot, but therefore we have also 20% more Phial damage. In a real hunt scenario where you will just hit bad weak spots or completely miss, could even out damage Guy's Magorm charge blade. So let's move to a build with an average charm now and then to a beast charm. But I've also prepared a no dereliction version afterwards for when you're not fighting afflicted monsters, because afflicted monsters gives you free health regeneration, so dereliction isn't even noticeable there, but if you fight normal monsters or elders, it's quite a pain with dereliction. The charm is a simple any 2 level 2 slot charm where I slotted into Rapid Morph. We're also using the final boss armor to gain some dereliction, but also has some best in slot parts for the build. The skills are Guard 5, which you can adjust to any monster if needed less, Resentment 4, which gives you 20 roll all time, 3 Weakness Exploit to not completely let the melee damage die out but still have a 20% chance for some massive crit damage, Bludgeoner 3, which is going to activate fairly fast once you drop to green sharpness, therefore you should not sharpen but keep your sword charged so you don't bounce off, or just use 1 level of Mind's Eye and disable bouncing. Offensive Guard 3, Artillery 3, Rapid Morph 3, Load Shells 2, 1 Dereliction and 1 Chain Crit. Make sure to use the blue scroll at all times since it's going to give you a raw boost while red one is boosting your element and we don't want that here. Decos used are 2 Iron Wall plus 3, 5 Attack, 3 Artillery, 2 Guardian, 1 Tenderizer, 1 Brace. As a Rampage deco I use whatever anti-species I'm fighting. That boosts your raw damage by 5%. However, there is one Rampage deco which is Brutal Strike, and I don't use it for a good reason. Brutal Strike doubles your damage on negative crit hit. Sounds cool and all, but it has only a 25% to proc, and without Weakness Exploit we have a 30% negative crit chance. So the probability of activating Brutal Strike is only 8% chance, which is 8 out of 100 hits. So it's totally not worth it because you will lose so much damage there due to negative crits. But it's up to you using it, use whatever is fun for you. Build number 2 is one with the best in slot charm, Bludgeoner 3, Rapid Morph 2, 3-1, which was used on almost all impact SAD builds back in Rise because of how efficient it was for the Bludgeoner builds, and the Rejunct charge blade was meta with green sharpness. In addition here we can fit Attack Boost 7, which is 15% extra damage, but I dropped in exchange 1 Rapid Morph. Decos used here are 2 Iron Wall plus 3, 3 Artillery, 1 Guardian, 3 Blunt, 1 Tenderizer, a Brace and a Diversion Jewel. Remember to get as much Phial damage as possible, I have all the boosts active like Bludgeoner, Counter Morph, Offensive Guard, Bombardier and Dereliction. Also Raytheon has a 1.1 Enrage modifier, so normal monsters which counters these you will see only about 280, which is still a lot. But doing SADs without those buffs active, you will hit only 180. In case someone comes back and comment, I don't see that high damage number, but I copied the build exactly the same. Well, obviously if you're not taking the 70% extra damage buffs, you're gonna be hitting 70% less damage, barely scratching above 180. Also here you can see a cool 399 Phial damage, and this is with heroics active. Sadly you cannot maintain heroics because attacks with some knockback deal also chip damage, so you're going to die even when guarding them, unless you're using counter peak performance. Here's a build without dereliction. So pretty much just getting rid of resentment since it won't be active, but instead gaining a much more comfortable build with only 5 to 10% less damage than the first one due to the lack of weakness exploit and a bit of row. But attack level 4 catches up again to the row. And also not worrying about constant health loss is as well a great DPS increase. Here you will be able to use Brutal Strike if you feel like it. I also added a point of Slugger because Slugger is one of the greatest DPS increasing skills in the game, and I recommend using at least one for more controlled fight. Decos used on this build are 1 Iron Wall, 3 Blunt, 1 Slugger, 1 Guardian, 1 Artillery, 2 Attack, 2 Quick Switch and 1 Brace. So yeah, that was it again. Hope you guys enjoyed the build. If so, be sure to leave a like and comment of what you want to see next from me. Also don't forget to subscribe for more builds, guides and speedrun videos. And with that said, I wish you all a nice day and happy hunting. Don't forget to join Cat Gang.